Welcome to Stupid Christian Comments. This video series presents some of the amazingly stupid comments by Christian YouTubers on my channel's debates and videos. Here are this week's top 5 picks. Up first is Efren Zed with this.
Even having evidence of God still wouldn't convince atheists that God is real. Something all atheists lack is having faith. It's very sad.
It all depends on the quality of the evidence. Exceptional claims require exceptional evidence. So if the evidence that you provide is lackluster, then don't be surprised people with fully functioning critical skills will not believe you. Since we don't live in a world where there is actual evidence of God's existence, this comment is hypothetical in nature and baseless. Your criticism stems from a frustration towards atheists who have a higher demand for demonstrable evidence. If a God does exist, he would know exactly what kind of evidence that would convince me of his existence. If he refuses to provide me said evidence, then he is an ass and can't reasonably punish me for disbelief. Atheists typically do have a lack of faith, especially in the existence of a God, because we understand that unwarranted belief or trust in something that cannot be demonstrated to even exist is illogical. Next we have Fight to Win 5, who said,
Actually, you must accept that not only was there a person who was named Jesus, but that he came back to life. This is proven as Jesus was killed and placed in a tomb behind a boulder after having been impaled in numerous places and bleeding to death. Then, after 3 days, when visited, he was not in the tomb and appeared before many people. It was not possible the people hallucinated. 500 people cannot hallucinate at the same time.
One common trait of religious people in general is their blanket assertions. In this comment, Fight to Win 5 asserts that the stories of Jesus in the Bible are true and should be accepted as such without any justification. The accounts of Jesus were all written by no eyewitness accounts, decades after his supposed life, by authors we cannot verify to be credible. On top of it all, you find multiple versions of the story with significant contradictions among them. This is incredibly weak evidence, and if the claims it made were commonplace occurrences that we have lots of supporting documentation and evidence, we could accept it tentatively. The issue is, the claims of Jesus in the Bible are far from commonplace occurrences. They are the most exceptional of claims, and we are to believe them on the weakest of evidence. Perhaps a man named Jesus did exist. However, none of the stories of his life, his word, or his supposed miracles can be corroborated. The ancient world was full of stories of supernatural events with godly beings, and we all understand the large majority of these are mythology. But the theists hold on to some and claim them to be actually true. In what way have you verified that the other myths you have dismissed are in fact false, and verified how your beliefs are in fact true? I'd love to see that process. Katya Deepanila said,
Science is the one way of the demon to deceive humanity. Think of death. If you are right about that there is no God, then you will be in simple death, and so am I. If I die without torment. But think of this, if I am right about Jesus, which is the perfect truth, I will die, yet my spirit lives in him forever. But for those who don't believe in Jesus, torment in the lake of fire is your refuge?
Wow, there truly is nothing like a crazy theist. Science is the way of the demon? Do you realize all the technology that went behind the computer and internet that you used to type that comment was developed by people engaged in science? Do you realize that everything from medicine, medical procedures, transportation, industry, and nearly all other aspects of our life are in their present state due to science and scientists? Sure, some scientists lie, some work towards selfish ends, and may actually harm others, but science as a whole is about the honest pursuit of knowledge. If God and heaven don't exist, then when we die, it's all over for us. Do I want that? No. But my wanting something to be true or not true doesn't change reality. I may want to win the lottery, but really believing I will win the lottery won't guarantee me a prize. If God does exist and he sends me to hell for eternity to suffer for not believing in him, then he truly is a monster of epic proportions. And I wouldn't want to spend eternity in heaven with such a being. No finite crime is worth eternal punishment. Trevor George informed us that
it takes more faith to be an atheist than to be a Christian.
I've always thought this comment to be incredibly silly. I've heard it said that faith is a virtue, so it would seem to me that the more faith you have, the better off you are. So if it is true that it takes more faith to be an atheist, why aren't you an atheist? More faith is better, right? The term faith is used in many of the following ways by religious people. Number 1. As an alternative for religion. An example would be, I believe in the Christian faith. Number 2. As an alternative for the word trust. An example would be, I have faith that God will take care of me and lead me to His saving grace. And number 3. Belief without evidence. Example, I have faith that God exists. Number 2 and 3 pose problems for me. I only trust others who have earned it through their actions. I do not inherently trust people I have never met, especially if they want something from me. I'm thinking specifically about the Nigerian prince scam. Someone who believes in exceptional claims without evidence is being very naive and not using their rational skills to reach conclusions. A person should believe in things only after good evidence is presented. Theists start with their God beliefs, and then, if they feel they need to defend them, look for ways to confirm them. Faith is gullibility. Faith is wanting to believe something is true, rather than establishing something is true. Madam Emp finishes us off with,
Show me evidence that the soul does not exist. Show me evidence that God does not exist. Can you prove it?
Show me evidence that the invisible flying spaghetti monster does not exist. Show me evidence that we are not in fact living inside a virtual world like the one posited in the Matrix. We obviously can't prove a negative. It may be possible that a soul or God exists, but you can't prove something's non-existence. That does not therefore mean a soul or God or flying spaghetti monster or the Matrix does exist. The person who makes a claim needs to defend it with evidence. That is true of the person who states as fact that God does exist, and the person who states as fact that a God does not exist. As an atheist, I do not hold the position that God does not for a fact exist. My position is that the claim made by religions and religious people about God is unsupported and lacks evidence. Disbelief is the default position to any claim, especially if the claim has never been demonstrated to be true. There you have it, 5 stupid comments from 5 different YouTubers. Which comment would you vote to win the Dumbass of the Week award? 1. Efren Zed claiming that atheists wouldn't believe in God even with actual evidence. 2. Fight to Win 5 with his blanket assertions. 3. Katya Deepa Nilas who thinks that science is the way of the demon. 4. Trevor George who thinks that it takes more faith to be an atheist. Or 5. Madam Emp who thinks that the burden of proof is on the skeptic. Please leave your votes and comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, remember to press the like button and share. If you would like to submit a video or audio reading of an upcoming stupid comment, send me a private message. Thanks for watching. Want to see more? Click subscribe and keep an eye out for the next stupid comments video coming out next Friday. Also, follow me on my brand new Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus pages. Lastly, head over to my channel and check out all the debates, presentations, and videos.